We're going to have to come up with answers that set politics aside.
Oh, we're going to bring you some stuff that's going to make you feel better. They don't hear us.
They don't hear us!
Hey, and shout out to the folks who are covering this coalition, because they don't hear us.
So we are here again with another They Don't Hear Us. My name is Sheryl Huff, and I am with the Middle Tennessee National Action Network. I am the president of this local chapter. And today I have Miss Stephanie Richey here with me, and I will let her introduce herself. And thank you so much for being here. Can you just let people know who you are?
Absolutely. I am Stephanie Richey. I am the chairperson of the Sheryl Youth Task Force Committee. That's one of my hats. I actually carry a lot of hats around the city of Nashville, but we're going to be talking today about a few hats. Most importantly, what I do in my responsibilities as the chairperson for the Sheryl Youth Task Force Committee.
Okay. And when you say Sheryl Lane, is Sheryl Lane, I mean, what is it? Because it's like a lot of different Sheryl Lanes, so.
Yes, ma'am. So Sheryl Lane Church of Christ, of course, you know, like most churches, has many ministries. And under the youth ministry, we have the Sheryl Youth Task Force that started about 2016.
Okay.
So I'm not the first chairperson. I came in 2019. So that was literally a year right before the pandemic.
Right. Okay.
And so, of course, you know, when the pandemic happened, a lot of things kind of affected us being able to do our community outreach. And that's basically what our committee does. So we're an extension of the youth ministry, but what we do as a committee is we touch on subjects that most churches don't really talk about.
Okay.
Those hard subjects, those serious subjects when it comes to parenting, when it comes to what happens when parenting doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. What happens when parenting does happen, but you have a child that is not prepared to be parented.
Okay.
And it's a lot. We touch on subjects like human trafficking, drug abuse. Okay. We talk about violence in the community. We talk about specifically, yesterday, we had our child and family safety workshop, and that's been an ongoing topic because it's so important, and it seems like every day there's something in the news or in social media about a child being harmed, children being exploited, cyber crimes that involve bullying, that kind of trickle into other behaviors, suicide. And we talk about mental wellness, we talk about the family unit, trying to strengthen the family unit. So there are a lot of topics that we touch on. We talk about sexual violence, we talk about domestic violence, and not just from a family standpoint, but also with our teens, because that's becoming a hot topic these days.
Oh, yes.
So because of yesterday's events, we have been able to really expand who we collaborate with. So this past event on Saturday, we collaborated with the Child Care Center. So the Sheryl Child Care Center on the main campus, as well as the Vine Hill Center. And we literally had about 13 agencies that came out yesterday. So Tennessee Bureau of Investigations was there. The mayor's office came. We had Metro Police that came. We had Rocket Ship Public School. We had Encompass Community School. We had the State Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services that came out. We had some health professionals that came out. Interfaith Dental was there. Matthew Walker Comprehensive Health Center was there. And then we also kind of tapped into some of the ministries that are already at Schrader. So our community impact, Save the Children ministry was also there because they partner with other public schools.
So we have, so because what you're saying now, and we're hearing this, a lot of people want to know, is the church relevant now? So the work that you're doing and the stuff, how many outside of the church in the community do you reach? And was it for the adults, the family, the children, the parents? Who was the message for?
So the message for yesterday's workshop was for everybody.
Okay.
We made sure that we were going to reach from toddler age all the way up to our adults.
Okay.
And so how we fashioned that program yesterday was we had, of course, our information tables from all of the agencies that came out.
Okay.
And for instance, TBI actually did fingerprinting and facial recognitions of children in the event that your child is abducted. They already have the information in the system. Metro Police also did something similar with child safety kits.
Okay. Okay.
And so that's important. You want to make sure that your information on your child is current, your photos on your children are current.
Yes.
One thing that we learned yesterday from both agencies is don't wait 24 hours if your child goes missing. You call.
Right.
You call right then. So it was very important for us to get that message out. And as far as like reaching the community, one of the things that the Sheryl Lane congregation kind of tapped into, and it was a mantra that we had during the pandemic, was that the church had left the building. My contention is the church was never the building.
Okay.
And so it takes the member or an individual member or a collective body of members to be able to go out into the community and reach, because that's our call.
Okay.
That's our call.
Yes.
So with the Youth Task Force Committee, again, the way that we fashioned our programs, it wasn't so much of this is a church event, because honestly, we have more community individuals to come versus your church members.
Okay.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
It's a good thing because
Yes.
that's who we're trying to reach. We're trying to send this message out that, hey, we see you, we hear you, and we have the resources to help you either with education, awareness, and even if we can't personally do it, we have contacts with other agencies that can bring that information.
And that right there is truly amazing.
Absolutely.
And I really, really, really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because the people out here are suffering. And when they don't have anybody to turn to or nowhere to turn to, then that's when we have a problem.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that. I like that. So do you look, when would you have another one of these? And how can we get the message out to everybody again to participate in that?
So we're planning now that this event is over with, we're going to have a youth summit in the month of August.
Okay.
I don't have the specific date right at the top of my head, but if you follow us on Instagram, just look for Sheryl Lane Youth Task Force. And Schrader is spelled S-C-H-R-A-D-E-R. Everything else is spelled phonetically. That's where we post, that's where we promote, and that's where we get our information out. Typically, we do our registration through Eventbrite, but again, we always put our information out through our Instagram page.
So do you work with organizations? Do you all partner with organizations to help get your message out, to come in and see how we can collab together?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We look for those collaborations because we know we're only as strong as the four walls that we're in at the church. So those collaborations allow us to get our message further into the community. So it's been helpful. Like I said, this past event we partnered with the Sheryl Lane Child Care Center. Before we worked with, it used to be In Slavery, now it's Ancora. They used to do our human trafficking event with us. We've also worked directly with Tennessee Coalition to End Domestic and Sexual Violence. So yeah, we always look for collaborations.
Well, National Action Network of Middle Tennessee will love to partner with you guys and the work that you're doing, because it's similar. And we all have an umbrella, and it's just all of these people up under that umbrella. So we'll talk more about that. And I know for a while, you've been working with our students and our
Yes.
children with the ACT.
Yes, I have.
And you can hear the parents and just people talk about your program. So tell us a little bit about what you do in that.
So I actually started doing ACT prep in about 2008.
Okay.
During that time, my son was a junior in high school.
Okay.
And he didn't like taking tests. And I knew he was going to college. So that was the next step. We needed to get him prepared to do that. And it just kind of blossomed over the years. I worked with other organizations doing ACT prep.
Okay.
Build Up Foundation, that's a quick shout out to Kwani Cash and team.
Okay.
And I've also worked with individual teachers. We do individual tutoring. We've actually expanded into virtual tutoring. We're currently hosting a group ACT session at Schrader Lane, the building, for the community as well as the high school students at Schrader. Right now, we're going into week 4.
Oh.
But that has become my baby.
Okay.
And a lot of people think by profession that I'm a teacher. I'm not. I just knew. I was taught and prepared for the ACT when I was in high school. And I've just kind of taken what I've learned and expanded that, and that's my way of giving back.
So right now, you all meet at Schrader Lane.
Yes.
And you're in week 4. So now, people that's interested in now hearing about it, and will they have to wait until your next session, or?
Well, if the interest is there and it grows, we will definitely reach out to the church office.
Okay.
And they will get that information to the education ministry leader.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I've provided my email address.
Okay.
So anybody that's interested, even if they want to do one-on-one, they can reach out to me. I have a team of 3 other instructors that help me with it. So like I said, we're all over. We've actually kind of expanded outside of Tennessee because of the virtual opportunity. So if you're in any other state, we're nationwide now. We're nationwide, so you can reach out via my email address, and we can get you set up.
Okay. And what is your success rate with the children that come out of your program? Have you heard back from them? And
so we have, that's different levels. So typically our students will let us know how well they do on the test.
Okay.
And from how we weigh the success of that student, of course we look at the scores.
Right. Okay.
But we also look at how focused the student is.
Okay.
Because if you're not in it, you're not going to do well.
Right. Okay.
But that takes, having a conversation not only with the student but also with the parent about what's needed, what's necessary. If you truly want this score to increase, then this is what we need from you. We're only as good as the information we provide, and at that point, you need to be able to execute what you're learning in the sessions.
So is this a free, or do you all have a charge? Because sometimes that we start to find out if you giving someone something, then they don't put a lot of effort into it. But if it's a charge or something like that, then you'll know you're dedicated people.
Correct. So there is a fee for individual as well as group sessions.
Okay.
It depends.
Okay.
So, but we're very reasonable.
Okay.
Like I haven't raised my prices since right after the pandemic, but that's just because we were literally all over the city, and I'm like, I need to be able to take care of my assistants. So, but it's a very reasonable cost. However, we are very diligent and sincere when it comes to if there's a financial need, then we will curtail that to make sure that you have what you need.
So is it any way, like if there's people out here, organizations or anybody that wants to help contribute to what you're doing, to working with the students, is there some way that they can reach out?
Absolutely.
And
And a lot of times if we work with schools, we actually work with not Providence, what's the name of that school out in Antioch? It'll come to me in a minute. It's in not KIP. What is the name of that school?
Where?
It'll come to me.
Knowledge Academy?
There you go.
Okay.
We worked with Knowledge Academy last year, and they had a phenomenal group,
Okay.
and they paid the expense
Okay.
for the ACT prep. So if you're a church group, if you're a school that needs the ACT prep,
Okay.
all you have to do is reach out to us and we'll work it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you may know, that Miss Stephanie is a woman of different hats. So we just took off 2 of her hats. Now we're going to put on another one.
Okay.
And your career-wise, tell us, what do you do, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So I'm currently a contract investigator for the Department of Justice. So my background is in criminal justice.
Okay.
I've received my bachelor's as well as my master's degree from the Tennessee State University.
Hey, TSU?
Absolutely, absolutely. And from there, initially I wanted to be an attorney,
Okay.
but at the time that I wanted to be an attorney, it was too competitive.
Okay.
And then I found my niche in other areas,
Okay.
still related to criminal justice, but not necessarily being an attorney. And so I feel like I've kind of found my calling being an investigator.
Okay.
But then I stepped away from it for a little bit and worked with 15th Avenue Baptist Church. They have a community development corporation.
Okay.
And I directed their workforce development program for about 4 years.
Okay.
And so that was an opportunity for me to really be able to get kind of knee deep into my community work.
Okay.
Because we were able to help a lot of men and women who were trying to get themselves reacclimated into society after either incarceration or any other setback. You know, we all go through trials.
Okay.
And so we were able to train them in construction work. We worked with Be a Helping Hand Foundation. And those men were able to kind of, you know, advance. Some of them stayed in construction. Some of them expanded into other things like production. Hey, Reggie. and so I wanted to kind of keep that momentum going because I built a lot of good relationships with people.
Okay.
But investigations called me back. And
Okay.
so I had to go back into that. That was my heartbeat. So, but I feel like I'm still doing a service, you know, with the type of work that I do.
So when you say investigation, what type of investigations do you do with the department?
So currently I work in civil investigations. I'm their civil investigator for the Affirmative Civil Enforcement Division. So that deals with healthcare fraud, it deals with civil rights, adult abuse, all those things, disability type cases. So,
and where do you get your cases from? Do you get them from the department, or people call you about them, or how do you get your?
So they come from different ways.
Okay.
We could get complaints in from citizens. We also work along with the Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Inspector General.
Okay.
We work with TBI, FBI. So any type of complaints that kind of funnel through those agencies, if they see the need for us to be involved, then they bring them to us. But then we also do proactive investigations.
Okay.
Whenever we see questionable commercials, we may say, hey, look, we may need to look into this particular person or entity. And sometimes it brings about a case. So.
Okay. See, and now this is information that we did not know. I mean, really good information, because as you know, me working at NAN, we have a crisis team, and we get phone calls from everywhere, every walk of life. They come and they call to our national office, and then the national office send them here. And I've had several cases that I've had filed through the Department of Justice. And so, but it goes on deaf ear. And so, and I feel that if people don't hold these agents accountable, then they'll just tell you something and won't do it. And so how effective that you all are with investigations out here?
Well, we have a pretty good success rate. Now, from the civil side, it's all about recovering monies that were lost. On the criminal side, I'm not with that particular division. Every now and then we may have a parallel case, but a lot of times the criminal division has to stay separate from the civil division.
Right, yes.
However, I feel like our office we have a lot of advocates. You know, we have a victim advocacy division as well, but every office, whether it's state government, whether it's local government, whether it's federal government, has an accountability division. So if my suggestion would be, if you don't feel like you're getting the answers that you need, push it forward. Go above their heads. Don't be afraid to
I'm not afraid.
don't be afraid to accelerate your concerns to the next level.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, this is awesome. I mean, okay, so tell us more about you. What else that you do?
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
What
you
else
are
do I
a
do?
very interesting young lady, and you are busy out here.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm
Yes.
busy. I grant write for local nonprofits.
Yes.
So that has been my wheelhouse for about 25 years now.
Okay.
I wrote my first grant for the Straight Lane
Okay.
Child Care Center when my son was there.
Okay.
And that was just from seeing a need, you know. So that being said, it's just become another extension of who I am, what I do.
Okay. Okay. So is it hard, because I know a lot of organizations, they get up and running and try to find, you have a lot of people that's scamming people on grant writing, they take their money. Tell me, what's the best way for a grant writer to help organizations, churches, you know, whatever, with grant writing?
Well, the first thing is to be very transparent about what your needs are.
Okay.
Most nonprofits in the first couple of years, they're not really ready because there's a lot of stuff. When you're talking about receiving free money,
Okay.
you know, there's still a level of accountability that comes with
Okay.
getting money that you don't have to pay back. So one of the things that I tell anybody that comes to me with an interest in receiving grant funding, let's make sure you're qualified.
Okay.
And that qualification, you know, there's a list, and those lists vary depending on who you're going to for the funding.
Okay.
And even if I see that you're not ready initially, then I can walk you through the things that you need to get prepared for your grant funding.
Okay.
And then if I can't help, I know a multitude of people that I can refer out to help you do what you need to do to get yourself prepared.
Okay. Well, that's good, because I hear a lot of people say, you know, there's nobody out here that can help us. But I know it's always someone that can help someone.
Absolutely.
So so that's really good to know. So tell me, what do you do for fun? What do you do to just relax and enjoy yourself, other than taking off all of those hats and putting on that pretty girl, let's do some type of work? I mean, other things.
What do I do in my spare time? Well, I
Yes.
have a 3-year-old granddaughter who consumes any free time that I have.
Oh, Lord, yes.
And that's, well, you know, I spend time with my family. I'm big on family, you know.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
we're big on family.
Oh, yes.
So any opportunity to just get together and decompress with family. I like to write. I like to creatively write. So when you were talking with Attorney Reddit earlier, he was talking about he used to dance. I didn't create a dance crew, but I do creative writing. And in my earlier times, I used to actually rap.
Oh,
But I don't know if I have the bars anymore. I don't know, people.
oh, never know till you try
You
it.
never know till you try. But I like to read.
Okay.
And eventually I'm gonna get back out. I don't know. The pandemic had me a little skittish about travel. I
Right.
need to take a vacation. I'll get to it. But that's about me in a nutshell.
Okay. And where do you go to get, do you go and do counseling for yourself, or, you know, someone to just, with all of the stuff that you work in and the things that you do out here, where do you get your counseling from?
So I have 2 good friends who are counselors.
Okay.
And like last year, I lost a real dear friend.
Okay.
And that kind of affected me to the point where I knew I needed to talk to somebody.
Okay.
So sometimes I take part in individual counseling sessions,
Okay.
but I also do some group counseling sessions.
Okay.
And they help.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of things like people don't really realize with investigations and anybody that deals with law enforcement,
Yes.
we see a lot of things that other people don't see or couldn't process.
Or just hearing it.
Or just hear it.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, you know, with that, it kind of builds like trust issues.
Yes.
You know, and they tell you don't bring the office home, but how can you not?
That's right.
Because sometimes, you know, something that somebody says may trigger you. It's like, I heard that in a case and I don't like it.
Yes.
So, yeah, I do have individuals that I can go to, and then I take part in group sessions. So I
Yes.
can just be very transparent and get it out.
Yes. Well, that's really good to know, because if you going through this and working in this kind of stuff and have no one to talk to, then you will consume all of
Absolutely.
everything, and then it's hard to sleep. It's hard to even answer your phone. What's going to happen? So I truly appreciate you. I really do.
Well, I appreciate
and
you.
we go a long way back.
Listen.
I mean, basically family.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, just watching them and your son, just loving on him, just loving on your son. And people don't understand the relationship a mom and a son has.
Absolutely.
It's special. It's special.
It is very special.
So is it just whatever it is out here that you want the people to know? Give them your contact information if they want to get with you, and if we have questions and stuff that people need to want to know, then I can reach out and let them know.
So absolutely. Again, my name is Stephanie Richey. You've heard about the many hats that I wear. If you're looking for ACT prep, reach out. My email address has been provided, Stephanie Richey, 3 @gmail.com. Our Sheryl Lane Youth Task Force, you can follow us on Instagram at Sheryl Lane Youth Task Force. That's where we post all of our events.
Okay. Well, it was a pleasure. It really was. And so, you know, I'm going to be calling you.
Yes.
And really need to work on some of these cases that I have.
Okay.
On some stuff with the Department of Justice. I really appreciate that part.
Absolutely.
So, but again, thank you so much, and thank you all for having us here. And my name is Sheryl Huff, and I am the president of Middle Tennessee National Action Network. And we're here tonight with They Don't Hear Us. And just want to let you all know about our event that's coming up. If you see this QR code, just scan that, and you'll know on May 16th, we have Reverend Al Sharpton will be here in Nashville. And we're having it starting at 5:30. So if you scan this QR code, you'll get all of the information you need. Come on and join us. Come and be a part of us. And we have a lot of work that we do out here, and a lot of work that needs to be done. So thank you again for coming out. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.